Hello there and welcome back to some more Forza Motorsport 7. Today we are doing another race build. This time take a look at the Alfa Romeo SZ, aka the Sprint Zagato. One of my personal favourite Alfas in the game, just because of how goddamn weird it is. Of course, designed by the styling house Zagato. The SZ is a rather controversial looking car. It sort of has this weird GTV6 brought into the future by way of the past style sort of thing. It's very 80s despite being a 1990s car. It is quite weird. Interestingly enough, underneath it is basically a GTV6. I believe it's the GTV6. It could be another one of Alfa's rear-wheel drive coupes of the time, but yeah, statistically it's very similar to a standard Alfa Romeo, but it's just sort of the way it looks is the polarizing part of this car, and I do actually really enjoy the way it looks just because it's different. Of course, many people would call it ugly, and I can perfectly see why, and I wouldn't call you insane for thinking it was ugly, but for me, it just sort of looks really cool. I like it a lot. Anyways, we are going to build this car up today, probably going to aim for B-Class. As far as engine swaps go, we can stick in the Skyline engine, LS not LS, and the Ferrari engine, the 458. But we won't do that. We'll probably stick with the naturally aspirated, I believe it's a V6 in this car for now. Forza Aero on this thing. The front doesn't look too bad, the rear looks like that. It's interesting, certainly. I mean, trying to place a wing on this car is pretty difficult. There is a little hump there, you could probably get one of the Forza Aeros on, but yeah, they decided not to go that route. We are going to want sport tyres. This car is D-Class, so we do have plenty of PI to play with. 235s on the front, 255s on the rear. Don't really want to push it in terms of power because of those tyre sizes. We definitely want some uprated brakes and uprated suspension because that sort of helps us out no matter what. Pretty much any car, that's sort of the first upgrades you really want to be looking at after tyres. Weight-wise, yeah, sure, we'll drop the weight. I'll try and keep this thing to be a sort of lightweight car. Rigidity, 1990s car. Probably go with some street chassis enforcement just to make sure it stays absolutely fine. I am going to stick a differential in it. No idea how the diff performs in this car, but it is nice having. Gearbox, yeah, I'd say that's worth the PI to have the gearbox just so you can adjust the car a little bit. Right, onto the main meat and potatoes. Let's see how far we can get power-wise in this. It's going to jump power pretty quickly by the looks of it. Pretty quickly indeed, in fact. We will have that, we will have that. 595, 280 brake horsepower. I think 280 is probably going to be what we're going to get out of this thing. So we'll stick the sport flywheel on, and we will just chuck on a few of these other little parts to try and make up the PI to go to B600. Apparently this car's going to be a little bit awkward to do that with. Clutch can't get in it. There we go. Driveline is going to put us up to B600. Good. Alright. We'll do some minor league tuning as per usual, and then we'll get on to seeing how this car performs. I'm expecting good things from the SZ though. Certainly would not expect it to be bad. Gearbox, that should be fine as is. 170 miles per hour for a B-Class car, that's pretty good. Holy crap, this thing's low. Diff I won't really play around with, I'll just sort of drive it as is and see how it does. But yeah, that is the Alfa Romeo SZ built up. 280 horsepower, 221 foot-pound torque, 2,351 pounds of weight. Front weight distribution, surprisingly 54%, which is interesting on a rear-wheel drive car. But other than that, yeah, pretty standard build. Let's see how well the SZ does. Will its quirky looks help it on the track? I mean, it won't, but it's an optimistic thought. Alright, here we are at the Maple Syrup Raceway, ready to get underway in our challenge. Now, I have set up a multi-class lobby, so what we have is we have Italian cars in front of us, Those are our fellow B-Class cars, but behind us are the A-Class cars. The challenge is to try and hold the A-Class cars up as much as possible, and maybe potentially beat some of them, while also trying to beat the B-Class cars. Now, I will say there is not a lot of variety in the cars in front. It's all various Alfa Romeos and Ferraris, and there's quite a few duplicates. I did genuinely try my hardest to get this to work, and it was starting to spawn some interesting cars, but the game simply would not load. I've been literally trying to get this to work for about 20 minutes, which is the way usually these build videos go, so, or at least when I try to do a multi-class lobby. If I try to do just like a normal race, it usually turns out okay, but if I want to do like one of these, then yeah, it doesn't often turn out the way I quite want it to. Oh god, I'm being bullied by the fat Ferrari, the California. Ooh, we got a contingent of red up here. I'm going to dive up the inside of the California, hopefully. Of course, in front of us we have the Alfa Romeo 33S's, the fantastically quick Stradalis. So they're an interesting thing to compete against. Ooh, there we go. I think I've got an Alpha finally. Finally overtaken someone after a while. Gonna get round the Group B rally cars. Get out of my grill, please. I see there's a challenge to Dali sort of circling around my arse. I mean, I've had worse things circle my arse before. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we've had a big accident. That was... I have no idea what happened there. I think someone may have smacked the tyre barrier and completely destroyed themselves. And that takes some of the cars out of contention. In fact, that's also going to hold up the A-Class cars a little bit as well, which is fine by me, but I do not have any straight line speed apparently, which is an issue. The field's sort of a little bit fragmented now, but that might actually be to our benefit. Alright, there we go, go on the brakes, come around this corner. Suppose we haven't used Maple Valley for a build before, because I do really enjoy Maple Valley. It's probably my favourite fictional Forza track, although I think that's true for a lot of people. Yeah, it just got a good flow to it. It actually feels like a legitimate racetrack. I do like the Alps as well. Alps is a great course, but yeah, this place really is something special. As far as the car goes to drive, it's pretty good. Does like to get a little bit sideways through the corners, a little bit more than I'd like it to, but it isn't too awful. There we go. Right, coming up to another sea of red cars. Of course, with the PI in descending order, we are going to end up catching the cars in front eventually, because the higher PI cars start at the back. The reason I do that is to basically get me to get some battles later on, and it also allows the lower PI cars to actually make a break for it. If it was just sort of the higher PI cars towards the top, then it'd be kind of boring, because it'd be literally a case of just overtake them and then go battle with the top group for ages, while as this way I actually have to work my way up the field. Speaking of working my way up the field, I've come across a bunch of other 8Cs. These ones are less accident damage than the yellow one was. I'm much quicker through that section up there apparently than any of the other cars. Gonna try and get around this 8C Competizione, trying to pronounce that with a cold, which helps. Or hay fever, actually. I need to take some tablets today. Right. Can we work our way up the inside of the 8C? We can. Excellent. Right. The car in front of us just got a little bit on the grass. This 288 GTO apparently somehow made his way up the field. He's braking over the jumps. The 8C has all the straight line speed and is going to give me a nice little love tap just to show me he's there. I'm going to give him one back as I pass past him. Right, I've got no more wing mirror, but that's fine. Try and work our way around the 288. Let's see how we do it. He's going to go on the brakes a little bit. Nowhere I can really go around there. Constantly on the brakes to 288. He's very brake happy, which basically for me is a little bit not great, because that makes getting around him a little bit more difficult because, of course, when he brakes, I have to brake as well. Otherwise, I'm going to end up smashing into the back of him, which I do not want to do. Particularly, I don't really want a Ferrari in my Alfa. Ooh. Car just got carried sideways a bit. Sorry to the Ferrari there that I slightly bullied. I mean, the 288 GTO is far from my favourite Ferrari, so that's fine by me, but gonna have to brake through there, which is going to be detrimental because that's going to allow the 8Cs to potentially form an attack. I'm going to cover the inside. There we go, a little bit scruffy. The 8Cs do not want to follow me through there. Alright. Lap 4 of 7, we have a Ferrari F355 in front of us. That is one of my favourite Ferraris, so try not to kill him too much. And then we've got two cars that have just ran away at the front. I can't remember what the two highest PI cars are in this race. I think it's some form of old Alfa, if I remember rightly. Alright, try and work our way up the inside of the Ferrari. I might actually have the straight line speed on the 355. Not quite. Yeah, power to weight ratio wise, we should be around the same, I'd imagine. Anyway, he's going to try and dive to the inside to block off any potential path through. I'm in the wrong gear though, which doesn't help me right now. Alright, on the brakes again. Holding, starting to hold up a big group of cars. We have not seen the A-class cars this entire race, pretty much. I sort of, that first lap incident really held them up. And so actually trying to see them is a little bit, well, it's not happening. It's more just a case of me trying to hold these guys back. This car's definitely more of a handling car than a straight line speed car. I mean, handling, sure, it likes to go sideways a little bit, but it's a lot like a Lotus in that aspect. Oh god, don't hit that tyre wall. We are going to go slightly offwards there. That's the one thing with those corners. If you mess up a little bit of it, you're going to mess up the entire lot of those corners, and you're just not going to be able to get a good run. Yeah, Maple Valley is more of a straight line speed track than this car can handle. This is definitely more of a handling car. Handling in the Lotus sense. It always keeps you on your toes, but it is, well, it can get around the corners relatively quickly, so that's a bonus. This also probably would make a decent enough drift car if you decided to go sideways enough for it. Right. Lap 5 of 7, we are in 4th place, about to catch up to some 575s. By the looks of it. There's a whole sea of 575s up here. So let's see if we can get past them. I'm going to get a little bit sideways through there, a little bit squirrely. That's okay, on the brakes again. Solid enough exit out of that corner. Could have done a little bit better. Alright. Spin the back wheels a little bit. Don't really want to be doing that particularly. On the brakes again. Oh no, 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 no. That's not what we want to do. Going sideways a little bit. Gonna bash the 8C. Oh, hello, 8C. 8C definitely does not like me. That 8C is, I would say the 8C is aggressive, but I'm also not particularly helping his case either, so oops. Right, come on, there we go, through that corner. That was terrifying through those bends right there. Right. We are on the back of a 575. I think that's a couple of 612s in front potentially. Or is it 612 A-Class? I don't remember. Either way, I've got like 3 of them now, so that's good. Which is good because, again, 612 is my favourite Ferrari of all time. Yep, it is indeed a 612. The 612's holding up the 575. That might potentially give me a chance. It won't. Oh, go on the brakes. Alright. Here we go. Around here. Cars on the outside, cars on the outside, cars on the outside. Go up the inside of him. Ugh. God almighty. Jesus Christ. This is actually turning out to be surprisingly fun. Oh, good God. Good God. There we go. Oh, there's a tiny little, I think that might be a bird cage up ahead. Lap 6 of 7. Oh, we are going to be quicker through here. Look out, 612, I'm coming for you, buddy. Oh, you're going to get on the brakes there, though. I'm going to also need to do that, otherwise I'm going to end up in your arse. Which I don't particularly want to do, as much as it is a lovely arse. Oh, 612 goes wide. 612's gone wide. Well, that's him out the race. Now we are onwards to the final lap. Just got a dispatch of this birdcage, which is rolling around. He is going to have so much more straight line speed than me, though. In fact, we're going to be pretty evenly matched in terms of statistics, I think. Going to go a little bit out wide there. Going to give him some room. Could have maybe dived up the inside there. I do have the bigger car, so if I do need to force my advantage, I can force on him. Yeah, he's got way more straight line speed. They brake for that jump though, which is a little bit odd. That actually does buy me some time around here. Ooh, jump the car out a little bit. On the brakes. Maybe try and work our way up behind. Ooh. Ooh, he's slow out that corner though. I'm going to go for one of my favourite overtaking spots. It's just too quick between the corners. It's kind of hard to force the Alfa's advantage there. Very brake happy around this track. Alright, he's doing that. Oh, oh, oh. Opportunity presents itself up the inside. Maybe. Ooh. Nope, maybe. He's braking there. Alfa's braking loose. And there's the overtake done, as we get to watch the T-Po flop around a little bit. Right, there we go. Just need to have a good run through these final few corners, and then we are home safe. There we go, and across the line in the glorious SZ. Yeah, surprisingly... Ooh, apparently I might have just caused an issue. Yeah, the T-Po's dead. Yeah, that was, I would say, surprisingly good. To be honest with you, I knew it was going to be a pretty decent car. It's kind of hard to mess up a B-class car, really. Whether it be competitive or not online, probably not. If you're looking for a competitive online build, I'd probably stray more towards my BRZ build that I did. That car likely being better handling, but this SZ certainly is not bad. And if you did get the SZ, I believe it's up for grabs in one of the rival events at the moment, and it was up for grab a couple of months ago as part of the league events. Yeah, you can certainly do some work with it. It's certainly an interesting car, one that you probably won't see anyone else turn up to the race circuit with, so give it a go. Anyways, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.